It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, August 7, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you are watching live. However, you are consuming the network, we certainly appreciate you. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you.
Ryan Ermanni, how you doing, buddy? How you feeling?
Fantastic.
Feel good myself. Good to start off Monday, even though a little gloomy outside. Hey, we're getting closer and closer to D-Day. And I'm getting more and more excited about it.
High school football practice starts today. That's perfect high school football.
Yeah, it is.
Yo, this is definitely perfect.
Yeah.
In summer training, like 2 days, like when you start training and it's hot as hell outside, like you hate, you're sweating, you got the big water jug, you drink it. Weather like this, you can give me a 3-day in this weather. This is cool.
No. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, big guy.
Hey guys, had a real fun weekend. Hope you guys did too. I know you did, because I know where you went. And looking forward to hearing about it. I know JB, I talked to him and the rest of the guys in the back that JB is still like on cloud 9. It's like a bunch of little girls going to see the Barbie movie. He went and saw his Barbie movie at Ford Field.
Kind of like Dan Campbell, the wind beneath
Exactly,
his wings, right?
Exactly.
JB, how you doing over there, big guy?
Get him in here.
I am good, man. I am great right now. As Maz said, I'm still on cloud 9 and feel like a kid again.
Should we start with JB then?
Let's start with JB. Let's let JB start.
Let's just examine this. Parker, good afternoon to you as well. By the way,
nice title is that, by the way.
The WWE comes out today. SummerSlam of the weekend, nearly 60,000 people there. It is the most watched SummerSlam, the highest grossing SummerSlam in the company's history. That is a pretty significant achievement, and man, when Detroit puts on a show, they show out.
I was saying to Brandon, are we number one?
Like 100%. We talked about this last week. Like whenever there's a concert, whenever there's any type of event, whenever any type of show, metropolitan area Detroit always comes out. They always show up. Like if you think about putting this into context, SummerSlam 92 was at Wembley Stadium. Wembley Stadium easily has seen upwards of 100,000 plus there. This beat Wembley Stadium in 92.
Ooh.
It says a lot about
They
Detroit,
had Live
man.
Aid, for crying out loud.
And if you think about it, Ryan, at a SummerSlam event like wrestling and like concerts, they have the blacked out section. So just imagine if you could add the blacked out seats as well.
Without question.
Yeah, that's crazy.
JB, let's start with you because as you're like a kid in a candy store here, just walk me through your day, the SummerSlam experience for you.
For me, starting off the beginning of the day, I'm just watching old SummerSlam pay-per-views. So I'm watching everything that I can until it's time for us to get up and
JB
go.
at like 7 a.m.
He did text me at 7 a.m. I'm like, geez, all right. So I know Braylon was excited, so I'm just sitting here watching all the pay-per-views, getting ready to go. We finally pile up in the car, head downtown, and of course, it's packed. There are people everywhere. The Tigers game is letting out as well, too. I know Maz was there, but downtown is just completely packed. So we're just trying to get there, to get to our media passes, which once again, thank you, Tom Mazawey, for those. I really do appreciate that. Braylon, I appreciate your tickets as well, too, being able to get down on the floor to like really see and get up close. But man, the media pass upstairs, I love media because you're just up there and like you're getting the full scope of Ford Field. You see everything, and not to mention they've got free food up there for you. So you load up on burgers, you got salad, fries, potatoes, and then afterwards they bring out a whole entire another course of things, cookies, desserts, chips, pops, whatever you want. They have it up there for you, and I'm just like, this is amazing right now.
Your joy makes me so happy.
Man, I was literally hanging on every word. I could see what he was saying. I'm like, man, I want one of those hot dogs.
Braylon, I mean, take it from here, man. I mean...
Yeah, it's got a good chance to hang out, man. JB was down there. My barber JD, got a chance to see him, and then the crew. You guys know Max. You guys know Nader. You guys know Jeff. We actually went to the Guns N' Roses concert. That's the crew. So we haven't seen each other in a while, and got a chance to hang out. We met at Max's house. went downtown, linked up with JB, and just the energy. Like, the Maz set us up with the parking pass. I really appreciate that, brother. It was perfect spot on. But the energy was back in Detroit. Like, I was saying something to, not to get off track. I was saying something yesterday. It was like, it's getting to be back to a norm. Like, last week, I went to the movie theaters. I went to the mall. I say that again. I went to the mall, and then I went to downtown, went to Fort Field. Like, being outside is fun again. But it was just great, man, watching it and seeing those guys and just the energy. Like, something about wrestling, you watch fans. I mean, you took Luke, and you'll get into that in a second, but you see the father and the son. You see the girlfriend and the boyfriend. You see the families. Like, one thing about wrestling is, like, football is like sport. Just transcends and it keeps going and keeps going. Everybody can enjoy it. It was fun.
So
a lot of fun.
On Saturday night, on Friday night, it was my mother-in-law's birthday.
Ooh.
So
how many did you have?
Went to dinner, had a few drinks, right?
That's always trouble.
Come home, and on Peacock they got this Cody Rhodes documentary,
American Nightmare.
So I start watching this thing, and I'm like,
I'm sold.
That's it. I wanted to do something nice with my boy. I went to WrestleMania when I was 8 years old, WrestleMania 3. My boy's 6. I was like, you know what? What the hell? Let's buy a couple of tickets. I took him there, so that's me and Lukey.
Look at him.
My little man, Lukey. I got my Bill Bonds t-shirt on.
Oh, man. Is it a Gardner White t-shirt?
Hey, my boys from Zot Ford saw you. They loved that shirt.
Yeah.
They're like, your boy's off the hook with the Bill Bonds shirt.
Oh, man. So great. So we lasted 2 matches. We watched the Paul with Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul.
Because the brother Jake Paul's fighting Nate Diaz.
He jumped and he left. Yeah, he jumped on the plane. So they had a picture of Logan Paul at the airport. He jumped off his match and took off and went to the fight.
That is unbelievable. So we watched that match, and then the Beast, Brock Lesnar,
American Nightmare,
and Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Watched that. And then we left, came home, ordered a pizza, and watched it on TV.
That's great.
I just the greatest experience for me. A little loud for I wish I would have brought him some headphones or something.
Yeah. You learn. You live and learn.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely do. But those floor seats, we couldn't see. I could not see a thing. And I'm thinking about it. This poor kid not only can't see, doesn't even really know what he's
looking
watching
at people.
For.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was a dumb thing on my part to buy floor seats.
Where could you have sat better?
You could have sat better anywhere that's up.
Upper.
Yeah.
Like
anywhere that's up.
It's funny you say that. So, like, sitting in the rope, shout out to Big E. Appreciate you, friend of the show. Came through for us. You're absolutely right. Like, on Sunday, I went back and watched the whole thing over so I can actually see what the hell happened. Because when you're sitting there, you see, like, moments, but you don't see the whole spectacle. You don't see the whole event. So I wouldn't have to watch the whole. I was like, what? That happened in the match?
And we had Ricochet on our show last week, so it was great to see him. And, his wife in real life is the announcer.
Oh, that's right.
For the match. And Logan Paul was like, who won? Say it again. Say it again. She is the pipes on that announcer.
Boom.
Boom. I've never heard a voice like this. Yes. I've never heard a voice. I don't even know her name. Forgive me. But the WWE announcer, the pipes on her, it is the perfect voice.
You got to explain that to the younger crowd that doesn't understand pipes.
That's your pipes here. The voice on her, I've never heard a better voice in my life.
Wow.
Logan Paul.
She does a great job. Like, she bellows it out.
Did she do the whole night?
She did the first half, and then the second half, some guy does it. It was not as good.
No, not at all.
I mean, it's from like here. I mean, she is calling it from here, not here.
Samantha Irving. That's her name.
Samantha Irving?
Damn it, you beat me to it. That's exactly what I had.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
You always quick.
I take it she's pretty nice looking, right?
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna hurt you. Ain't gonna hurt you on the eyes.
You know what? Lloyd used to have a guy. I think he was the head of the orchestra at U of M. I think U of M Symphony. I think Symphony. Excuse me. I think he used to come in every training camp and teach us how to sing the Victor. Like we had to do that. It was annoying, but now I look back, it was fun. That's where she brings it from. When she talks, she brings it from here.
That's so awesome. Now, did you guys make it to midnight?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Like, Jeff disappeared. I had to go find Jeff. But we made it. But you know me. Maz knows what I'm about to say. I hate
Beat the
traffic.
traffic.
Yeah.
So I literally right once Roman came out, we left and went up and watched it like right as you're walking out. So as soon as they were about to announce who won,
Out the door.
and beat the traffic. It was a perfect night, man. I got home at like 1, knocked out. It was perfect.
You know, I will tell you to see a couple of people in the chat about the floor seats. You know, you could extrapolate that to anywhere you want. I mean, how many people have bought a floor seats to a concert at Comerica Park or Ford Field or LCA, wherever, and you just can't see. It's a total. I don't think I've ever really sat on the floor for an event like that before.
Plus, you don't sit. You're standing the whole time.
Well, it was a lot of this up and down, and it was fine. It was a total miscalculation because, you know, it costs a good chunk of change, and it's like, you know,
Because I think one of the big things too is like when you sit close, because like I've sat in fights too, and the same thing. You want to sit a little more elevated. The difference is like concerts, the stage is higher. So you get stage is higher, so you can see. Even if you're close, it's annoying, but you still can see.
Right.
Wrestling rings, like the way they're constructed, they're just kind of up.
Right.
So you got to kind of like look up like that.
Bray, the worst part about this too is where we were sitting on the floor. So above the ring, there's a stanchion of lights. It's a circular stanchion of lights, and it completely blocked the view of the video board. So you couldn't even look up and watch the video
ramp?
board.
Like, were you like where the ramp part was?
I was on H. No. So
you were right to you literally to the right.
Really?
JB was in H.
Really?
Yeah, we were in the same
JB
section.
was in
Oh
H,
my God,
and I was D.
Yeah, it was H row 12.
Row 12, we were row 7.
Yeah, you can see a little bit better than me. Oh, there you guys are.
Oh yeah, look at my boy Nader bought his belt.
Oh yeah. Dude, the amount of belts that were there last night or 2 nights ago, everybody had a belt.
So the funniest thing is there's like 2 different kind of belts. You got like the authentic belt, you know what I'm saying, it's heavier. And then you got like the little cheaper one like styrofoam, whatever. That belt is heavy. Nader tried to give it to me a couple times, like pause on like at the end. I was like, no, I don't want to hold that belt. That belt was heavy as hell. I don't know how
Big
they
E
do it.
brought a belt here, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the newer belt.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool for 2 seconds. But you try to walk around with that thing, I'm good.
Oh, man, so great. Hey, if you went to SummerSlam, let us know what you think about it. Just a great time.
Did you get a shirt at least?
Yeah, Little Lukey got a shirt.
Right,
I didn't
good.
get one, but Little Lukey got
good.
a shirt.
Good.
And, yeah, it was great. Just
JB's got his shirt
SummerSlam.
rocking today.
Yeah,
That's the same
He
shirt.
bought
Yeah.
a few.
Oh, no, he did not get that shirt.
You got the one with Roman on it?
Yeah, Roman
I got
and
that.
Cody.
I got
and,
that one.
Yeah, it was the one with everybody on it. Oh yeah, Detroit SummerSlam. That's so awesome, man. Just
was
those
fun.
big events.
Hey, look,
And
I don't
again,
like wrestling, but you know what? I probably would have went to that.
Yeah.
Just because it's in my
You
hometown
would've loved
at
it.
Ford
Nah, you
Field.
would
I mean,
have
that's
fun.
pretty damn
Max,
cool.
you would have had a ball.
I know I
You
would've.
would have had a ball.
I would've.
The one thing I also have always loved about wrestling, the same people that go to SummerSlam are going to be the same people that go to Ford Field in September,
Yeah.
in
Sure.
October, in November,
Yeah.
and December. It's the
No
same
doubt.
fans. 100% same fans.
No doubt, man. Great stuff, guys. All right, we're going to come take a break. When we come back, Lions, baby. It is game week. At the end of the week on Friday, they will play a football game. Lots to talk about, lots to unpack. We'll get there next, but first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, because summertime is a great time to join
Yes,
Planet
it
Fitness
is.
and beat low E. Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. Your fitness is essential and a key part of your physical and mental wellness, which is why Planet Fitness has invited teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long with their high school summer pass program. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Talking Detroit Lions, we'll get to some Michigan Wolverines. The USA Today coaches poll came out. Where are the Wolverines? We'll talk about it coming up top of the hour. But first, guys, so much love when it comes to the Detroit Lions. And this is game week. It is preseason game number 1, and they're going to have their joint practices. They start with the New York Football Giants. They'll begin tomorrow, and then ultimately culminating with a game at Ford Field against the Giants. But, Bray, just as a big picture look at this, no matter where you turn, no matter who's talking about this football team, everybody seems to love it. As we go on in camp here, I'm not going to ask you if that's a bad thing, but it feels like nothing negative is coming out. No, I shouldn't even say that.
No,
but you know what I'm trying to get at. Everything is smelling like roses.
You can't jinx something that's on the right track.
That's right.
You can't jinx something that's on the right track. Like Brad Holmes, the mad scientist, and Dan Campbell, what they're building here in Detroit is real, and people see it. Like what they built through the draft, what they built through free agency, what they built through consistency. Everybody sees it. Like everyone understands that it is very different. Thinking about the joint practices, the thing that's so great, I've always loved joint practices. Never had them. Like I never was on a team that did joint practices, but I always wanted to, is because at a certain point in time, Ryan, in camp, like you're going against the same people. Like at the end of the day, Jamison Williams has gone against Cam Sutton so much. Amon-Ra St. Brown has gone against Mosley and those defensive backs so much. You know their moves. You know what they're going to do. You run the same plays. You need a switch up. You need to be able to face some different opponents. You need to be able to see some different type of schemes. That's why I've always been a fan of seeing that in training camp, just like the Lions did last year with the Colts. And the good thing about it being the Giants are a good team. Giants made the playoffs last year, and last time I checked, they won in the playoffs last year, and they got better on defense this year. So it's going to be a good week for the Detroit Lions going against Brian Daboll, returning head coach of the year.
And it shows really, too, Maz, how training camp in the NFL has evolved, too.
It wasn't like this in the old days.
No, it wasn't. I mean, in almost now, especially with that fourth preseason game out of the window, it feels like these matchups in practice, these reps in practice against, teams like the Colts last year or the Giants this year mean every bit as much, if not even more, as the games themselves.
This is when training camp officially starts. Yeah. It starts tomorrow when the G-men are here and the Lions are going after them. The coaches are all over this. They're salivating over seeing what's going on. You're going to see lots of fights. You know that. That's the first thing you're going to see. You don't want to see injuries. Everyone keeps their fingers crossed. It's been one of those kind of preseasons. It's been injuries and injuries and injuries all over the NFL. Hopefully, everything is going to work out good. You're not going to get anybody hurt. That's the main thing, to get out of this and then to see, especially, I'll bring his name up again, let's see what Jamison Williams gets to do against the Giants and that secondary.
The good thing also, Ryan, you brought up, you asked the question, is like, everything is positive about the Detroit Lions. So is this a good thing? Are the Detroit Lions, are they reading their press clippings? Are they thinking their stuff doesn't stink? That's why you get a chance to face a team like the Giants in these practices in preseason or training camp, because if you thought you were that good and you go out there and you get whooped by a team that was a playoff team last year, you got to go back to the board. Like, you know what? We got to rethink ourselves. We got a little too ahead of ourselves. If you do go out there and destroy the Giants, then it's another bowl for you, but also it keeps you on the fact of being humble and understanding you guys are a great football, wrong word. You guys are a really good ball club, but you haven't won anything yet.
One of the things, too, is, and we're not going to know this year like we did last year, but remember those joint practices, how the Lions coaching staff just absolutely loved what was happening in those joint practices.
Especially Deuce Staley.
Right, and then the Colts sucked that year, right? I mean, the Lions dominated the Colts in those joint practices so much, and then ultimately Indianapolis was just a bad football team last year. We'll see what happens this year. So many different things. You had mentioned JMO. That is one of the 5 things that Dave Burkett put out in the Detroit Free Press today. 5 things to watch for. Another was the run defense for the Detroit Lions, going up against probably one of the top 2, 3, 4 guys, running backs in the entire league. So the Lions put a lot into the run defense this year. A lot of assets into that, and they want to see what they can do right now against a guy like Saquon Barkley. You get that in practices like this, Bray.
The biggest concern and biggest question as it relates to the Lions defense outside of secondary, well, maybe even the biggest concern on the team was the interior defensive lineman. Like, the big thing was Jalen Carter. Like, let's get Jalen Carter. They chose not to get Jalen Carter. They chose to draft Broderick Mountain in the 4th round. They chose to believe in Aleem McNeil and Isaiah Buggs. All right, now you got to show. Now you got to show that it was a smart move not to get Jalen Carter. Now you got to show that the defensive interior was better than we thought as fans, as coach. I want to see that because I still think they could use some help there. But we're going to see if they go up and dominate the line. And, man, as you know, that Giants line, they're a good offensive line.
Real.
They're for real. And their left tackle, he's entering that phase where he's like top 3.
It's funny you say that.
Andrew Thomas.
It's
funny you say that because, again, that's another one of the 5 things to watch for throughout the joint practices is the trenches, because both the offensive and defensive lines for the New York Giants, just like Detroit, feels like a little bit of a good-on-good situation. So you see where those guys can really do. And, again, you want to stay healthy, obviously. That goes without saying. But, you put your best foot forward in a week like this, and you never know what it can mean for a guy like Dylan Drummond, right? I mean, guys like this, there is going to be a Dylan Drummond-type player, if it's him or not, that makes this football team. Who is Dylan Drummond, you may ask? He's a wide receiver from Eastern Michigan University. Caught the eye of Peter Schrager on Good Morning Football.
Let me tell you about Dylan Drummond. Here he is. That's one of the only photos you'll ever find of Dylan Drummond. Here's why. Dylan Drummond was not recruited out of high school. Goes and ends up playing at Eastern Michigan. He was not all conference, nothing. Draft weekend was such a long shot that he just played golf and didn't even think about it. All right, did not get drafted. Usually you hear those stories and you're like, and then the Chiefs called me or the Broncos called me and I figured I'll sign. No one called him after the draft. There was no undrafted free agent contract. No teams called him after that. There was a rookie minicamp tryout in Detroit, which was local for him. He made the drive, goes from Cleveland to Detroit, ends up showing up at the rookie minicamp, the only rookie minicamp he was even invited to, and was outstanding for 3 days. The thing ends, doesn't hear anything. It's like, all right, that was that. A few hours later, gets a call from the Lions player engagement folks, and they're like, are you still in the building? He's like, yeah, I'm still here. I'm still around. They're like,
and my sleeping bag.
wow, we're going to bring you to training camp.
This is like a Vince Papale of the Lions?
Truly, all right? Dylan Drummond has been a standout at training camp, all right? Not only not drafted, we've heard that story a million times. Not signed as a undrafted free agent. Not invited to any other rookie minicamps. Goes to the local rookie minicamp because he went to Eastern Michigan in Ypsilanti, and he ends up playing well and is going to get action in the preseason. The Lions play the Giants on Friday night. I wouldn't be shocked if Dylan Drummond is getting significant snaps in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Keep an eye on him. Your long shot
Dylan
for
Drummond.
the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
So, this is not the first time Eastern Michigan has had a wide receiver that was pretty good. When I was at Michigan, I used to always check the stats, like NCAA.
The box score.
The box score. So I'm always checking to see like where I was ranking, in the country. And I'm killing everybody, Oklahoma, Florida, all these guys. Who the hell is this guy from Eastern Michigan that's beating me? I think his name was Kevin Walter. Kevin Walter was his name, so they've always had talent. But this stuff is cool. There are always players like this, man, that fall through the cracks. I remember when I was in Cleveland, we had a DB who in Detroit by the name of Lee Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Lee Biden was out of Duquesne. Like, you're like, Duquesne? Where the hell is that? It's in Pennsylvania. Like,
Duquesne.
That's what I thought it was, Duquesne. So I swear to God, I thought it was Duquesne, but he's a guy, didn't get drafted, fell through the cracks. The same type of story with him. Like, Lee Biden got paid in Detroit.
Yeah, he did.
Like, Ocho Cinco, when he was at his prime in Cincinnati, he said there was one DB that he didn't like going against. It was Lee Biden, a dude that was undrafted. So guys like this fall through the crack, and it's the job of scouts like Brad Holmes and the team that he has in place to find these guys. Like, when you get guys that find these guys, that's why Bill Belichick was so successful, amongst other things. He could find these guys. He could point these guys that, hey, look, that Wes Welker, let's get him from Miami. Hey, that little Danny Woodhead guy, let's get him from the Jets. He's going to be one of those guys. I played with Danny Woodhead like when I was at the Jets. But you got to find those guys. They do exist, and it looks like we may have ourselves another at a position we need.
How do you not root for the guy, too?
Yeah.
How do you not root for this guy? He's playing golf on draft day. No call. He don't care. You know, he's not getting called. No after. You don't get an undrafted free agent contract, and here he shows up at this 3-day camp, and he's basically got a chance to at least make the practice squad here.
A guy like that, Maz, it tells me, like, because to get into the NFL is the dream, especially when you play football in college and high school. It's the dream. The fact that a guy doesn't worry about the NFL, and, well, he's thinking about it, but he said, you know what, I'm gonna just go out and golf. What happens, happens. Then he doesn't get drafted. He stays the course. The Lions pick him up and do something like that. Tells me this guy has confidence in himself. This guy tells me he believes in himself. Guy, I guarantee you, this guy graduated with flying colors. Like, he's the type of guy that you want to build on, like a Khalif Raymond type guy.
You know, it's not just Peter Schrager from Good Morning Football from the NFL Network that's saying this too. I have seen how well Dylan Drummond has been performing at Lions training camp, and it does give you somebody to root for, a legitimate player, somebody to root for. As you're watching this game on Friday night, you're going and it's into the third or fourth quarter, you do get to see a guy that maybe can make the team. Hopefully he can. I'm just looking at the depth chart right now, depending upon, numbers aside, Amon-Ra, Marvin Jones, Khalif Raymond, those are three definites. Josh Reynolds,
Marvin Jones.
I mentioned him.
You said Marvin Jones.
And then who? Antoine Green, the seventh. I haven't heard a thing about Antoine Green,
He's
the seventh round pick.
Carolina, right?
The seventh round pick. I've not heard one thing about it.
I agree. Haven't heard anything about it.
Tom Kennedy, don't forget.
He's not on the roster anymore.
Yeah, he is.
He's back, isn't he?
He's on. I guess he is.
He's in camp.
Barely.
He ain't gonna make the team though.
He'll make the practice squad.
Yeah, practice squad.
And he might make a game or two if they need it. Get off his ass, man.
That's right. Hey, coming up, guys, we'll tell you exactly kind of an oddball name. Somebody that loves the Detroit Lions. You will know his name well. Also, the top 9 quarterbacks entering this season, according to Fox NFL analysts. Is Jared Goff in this list?
Ooh.
You might be surprised. We'll have that for you. But first, a message from Randy.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. You know you want to play golf like a celebrity. You know you want to play like Braylon Edwards, D-Mac, Jim Harbaugh. You got a chance thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice. Get to a Randy Wise dealership soon and keep it right here on Woodward Sports for the deets.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the $100,000 getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best versions of themselves. That website again, drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
To me, this Jordan shows look a little bit like Joey Chestnut.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
You know, he looks like Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn,
a little
yeah.
bit too.
Like Vince Vaughn mixed with John Favreau.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hey, I know I'm late to the party, but did you guys watch Ted Lasso?
I did not.
I've been trying to tell you guys about Ted Lasso since it came out.
I-
It's my favorite show.
I'm down to the last 2 episodes of the first season.
Okay.
I'm in love with it.
It's the
I am
best
in
show
love
ever.
with it.
So,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I watched 4 episodes and didn't laugh one time.
I remember you said that.
And I think it was because of how built up the show was.
You don't
Like
have to
even
laugh.
Braylon is about.
It's just enjoyable.
Braylon's even about to say it's the best show of all time.
It is, but with that being said, what I love about it, give it another, just finish out the first season because it's one of those shows that takes you on every wave and range of emotion.
Yeah.
Like it starts off as like a goofy, silly show, and then turns into like this. You're like, I didn't see that coming. It's
Maybe
It was
I'll
like,
give it-
Lasso is
maybe
fun.
it's
I'll
like
give it another
Major
look.
League. You know, it's the woman owner that wants them to
Yep.
lose, and then it goes from there. So
but then she changes too.
yeah, I mean, I love every single character. I love.
It's also one of those things, and I'll leave it this, just like with me with Suits, like which I'm almost finished with, by the way.
I hear a lot about Suits. Everyone's
just-
on Suits.
It's
now.
just feel good. Like it's a lot of feel good stuff.
like it.
It's a lot of feel
and
good
Meghan
stuff.
Markle's on it.
I never was a fan until the show. And she's really good on the show. But yeah, it's a feel good story. Like you watch so much stuff nowadays. Like after you watch it, you go see him have nightmares. Like it feels good to go see him sleep tight.
By the way, guys, I know Tom Kennedy's on IR. He's not playing this year. So Ryan, you got your wish.
There you go.
Son of a
I
gun.
wish.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's not going to be on the team.
You're rooting against my guy.
Alex
It's all right.
Haggerty in the chat says, "What the f is wrong with you, Ryan? How do you not laugh at Ted Lasso?"
Yeah, I'm with him.
I'm dead inside. I mean, maybe I'm just
so
dead
feel
inside.
good.
Maybe
It's
I'm
so
just
good.
dead inside.
Like his best friend and assistant coach.
Oh, he's great.
He's great.
Oh.
Him and his girl. Wait till you see his girlfriend.
Oh, that's
like, their
great.
relationship was hilarious.
That's great. Guys, Mike Martz loves the Detroit Lions.
Our
this year.
former offensive coordinator.
Of all the people, the greatest show on turf, the offensive wizard of the Kurt Warner-led St. Louis Rams.
Not here.
The former offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions. He was the head coach of the offense.
He sure was.
He loves this team. Here's what he said. Defensively, they'll be so much better this year. The defense could move up into the top 15. Offensively, they're a top 5 team with a chance to be the best.
Isn't that something?
Well, if that is the case, Braylon, let's just say they're a top 5 offense and a top 15 defense.
Conference championship.
They're playing in the NFC Championship game.
Conference championship.
Yeah.
Like that's the recipe.
With luck.
That's 100%. You got to have some luck in there. Every team that has ever won something has had a little bit of luck along the way. But that's conference championship status. Like when you talk about 15-5 like that. But he's absolutely right. Like Ryan and Maz, look at it from this point. Look how bad the Lions were last year on defense, especially in the first half of the year. They were horrendous. You had a couple players. You'll get better than they were last year. But the second half of the year, the young players for the team started playing really well. And then in the offseason, you saw what they did in terms of filling voids that they needed. This team is going to be much better. And if they were that good last year with an average defense or a bad defense, a historically bad defense in the first 6 games, if they could be that good during the end of that year, what can they do this year in an NFC that we know? Yes, we understand the Eagles, but they got questions, as you point out, Ryan and Monty. Yes, we understand San Francisco. Was Brock Purdy an 8-game show? The NFC is right for the taking, and I understand, like 15-5, that'll get you in the game.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of analysts and players say last year, the way they finished, 8-2, we know how great they finished, and it's all over. It's not. what I hear is a lot of these guys that are talking about this team think they can bring that swagger into this season. And that's what the NFL's banking on, putting them against the world champs. By the way, 1 month from today, we'll be playing football.
And not only that,
Real football.
but you talk about swagger. You can't look at a video, read a report about this guy, look at some list, hear anything. What I'm talking about is Jared Goff. And everybody that has seen practice this year, I've not been out to camp this year, but everybody that has been to camp, that's covering camp, that looks at this stuff, says he is playing his best football of his career. He just looks like a completely different guy, in command, and everything is on point. And he's a top 9 quarterback, according to Fox NFL analysts. They put their top 9 quarterbacks entering
Look at that.
this season. Jared Goff comes in at number 9 in a 3-way tie, really, with Matthew Stafford and Kirk Cousins.
I'll take that.
Only Mahomes, Burrow, Allen Herbert, Hurts, Rodgers, Jackson, and Prescott are better.
I wouldn't put Prescott ahead of him.
I wouldn't either, to be honest with you. But is it possible that everybody, all of us,
Wrong.
have been wrong about Jared Goff?
It is absolutely possible, Ryan. Just look at this. And this is one of the key things that it doesn't get brought up a lot, but when it does.
Including Sean McVay.
Yes, including Sean McVay.
Guess what? I'm glad you said that. He knows he's going to eat his crow because after he won the Super Bowl, what was the first call he made? He called Jared Goff and apologized.
Yep.
That was the first call he made after winning the championship. He knows he's going to have to eat that crow, but that's coming. The one stat we always forget is how young he is. Seems like he's been in the league forever. It seems like that Super Bowl was 10 years ago. He just finished year 7. Like in 7 years, he's had 3 seasons of over 4,400 yards. Last year, he was 44-38, 7 interceptions, 29 touchdowns, 99 QBR. And oh, by the way, in the last 10 games, he didn't throw a pick. Didn't turn the ball over either. Like, he is entering his phase. He is entering everything that Sean McVay knew when Jeff Fisher, when they drafted him, number 1 overall. Yep. He was a number 1 pick. I remember watching him on Ballers. Now, I'm not going to say I thought he was going to come back and do what he's doing because I'd be lying. But I remember watching him on Ballers when he was on there, and he just looked the part. Like, he looked like the quarterback of a team.
Hollywood.
Like, he fit the bill of an NFL quarterback, and now you're seeing it in a different light. Jared Goff is having a great time, but now he's coming to his own as a leader. He's coming to his own and understanding who he is. Now that he understands who he is, he can understand what he needs to be for the Detroit Lions. I think he's doing that.
Sean McVay basically sent him to purgatory. Nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted him. Brad Holmes says, oh, no, we'll make the deal, but we're taking Goff. And the Rams are like, oh, great. This makes the deal even better. When this is all written, it's going to be the greatest deal for both teams in the history of professional sports. Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. Jared Goff's on his way to taking his team to where they've never been. I'm all in.
You know what? One of the reasons why, Brad Holmes is who he is, as well as, he just is able to, I think, identify talent with an eye that is so critical that you and I or nobody else has.
Yeah.
From day one that this trade was made, he said, we view Jared Goff as our long-term starter. And I think for a lot of us who have been here for years, a lot of us who are in the media, a lot of fans, that's funny. That's kind of what you got to say. Yeah. I understand that. And then the draft came and went, and they didn't take a quarterback. And he says, yeah, we view Jared Goff as our long-term starter. And we kind of laughed it off. And then, again, you're not going to pay Jared Goff $40 million. We view Jared Goff as he has been so steadfast in saying that Jared Goff is the starter. He drafted Hendon Hooker with an eye on improving the quarterback room. This team has not drafted and developed a quarterback since, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Matt Stafford.
Really. But that was 15 years ago. 14 years ago.
Jesus, that long?
It's a long time. So, and even before that, I'm not sure, you could say that this organization had any success drafting and developing a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, you talked about Jared Goff, you talked about drafting a quarterback. Like, Jared Goff, like, usually when okay, here you go. You see quarterbacks and you say, you know what, he's a guy that you got to put everything around him for him to be successful. That's always when you do quarterback tiers, you start to look. The top guys can win games by themselves. No one can win games by themselves, but you get what I'm saying. Tier 2 is the guys you're like, these guys are really good, but you got to put the team around them, etc. Every great quarterback that has won the Super Bowl had a freaking team around him. Like, everybody's had a team around. You're like, man, that Joe Montana, do you want me to name his freaking offense?
Excuse me, we apologize.
Kids out there, my apologies. But yeah, do you want me to name his offense? Do you want me to name his defense? Troy Aikman, want me to name his offense? Want me to name his defense? Terry Bradshaw, want me to name his offense? Want me to name his defense? He's in a situation that he deserves to be in. And that Super Bowl that he got that team too. It's not like you're looking at Trent Dilfer numbers. It's not like you're looking at Jared Goff and I'm like, yeah, he got the Super Bowl. No, Jared Goff was he was an MVP consideration that year. It's not like he just was a Trent Dilfer type quarterback.
Hey, listen, they took this guy and they rebuilt him. He came here, we all know. He came to Birmingham. He didn't know what the hell he was looking for. He had a guy walking around with him to make sure he was going to be okay. All right.
That's so
true.
Before you know it, him and his fiancee Kristen Harper are walking through Lady Jane's and walking to Birmingham Roast and hanging out and doing their thing. And here he is now. He has been rebuilt to the quarterback who was taken number 1 by the St. Louis Rams or Los Angeles Rams back then. And I remember when they were switching over from St. Louis to LA.
Rams.
It was St. Louis. It was 1 year.
You're right.
It was switching over to LA at that time because I remember that was a Hard Knocks.
Yeah, 2017.
I remember that. And he's been rebuilt. His personality, his confidence. That's all you need. He had the tools. He's not fumbling anymore. He's not throwing interceptions. He's behind a phenomenal top 5, top 3 offensive line. He's got a great rookie running back who they're putting everything on. And they got David Montgomery, who is a monster. All right? And we're going to wait till J-Mo's ready. Till then, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the guys. He's in the perfect spot now.
Yeah, and don't forget about Sam Laporta, who's going to be his best friend.
Yep.
The other thing, and you hit the nail on the head talking about, just look at how he's changed in doing the press interviews. When he first got to Detroit, head was down. He didn't talk very loud. He was like, we want to go out there and put we work hard and like that was him. Yeah. Couldn't see his eyes. Now when he's at the box, now when he's talking, he's here. Chest out, he's talking. He's like, well, I think the guys had a good practice today. We want to err on the side of caution as it relates. Like this is him now, versus this. This is a guy that wants to win.
And I'm so glad you said what you said about the quarterbacks too, and having teams around him. We say, oh, this guy can win a game by himself. No, he cannot.
No.
Nobody can.
Take Travis Kelce out the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I was just going, like, Patrick Mahomes, for as great as he is, he's got probably one of the most brilliant minds as a head coach in terms of offense.
Ever
in the history of the league. He's got probably the best tight end to ever play in the history of the league.
He's 1 or 2.
Top 3, yep.
He had one of the best wide receivers in the game play with him in Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
He's got one of the best defensive players leading the team. So,
and Frank Clark leads the NFL history in sacks in the postseason.
And you know what you have if you don't have those guys? Perhaps Justin Herbert, Dan Marino. That's what you have. If you don't have the ability to have a team around you, Warren Moon, Dan Marino,
Donovan McNabb,
Justin Herbert, we say never won a playoff game. He's probably got one of the least talented groups of offense, like 53-man roster of any of the top quarterbacks that we see. I mean, I think his head coach is miserable too, and you can throw that into the mix.
I don't like him.
No, I don't either. But do you think Justin Herbert would be a little bit better with Andy Reid as his coach?
Hell yeah.
Do you think Justin Herbert would be good with Travis Kelce? I'm not trying to minimize what Patrick Mahomes is doing. I'm just trying to highlight.
He's different anyway.
He is different. He's a unicorn.
How about we give Justin Herbert some receivers that can play 17 games?
Exactly. I'm just trying to highlight that it is a team sport.
It is.
Football. So maybe, yes. Does Jared Goff need a team built around him?
Yeah.
Yes, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Guys, Dan Campbell had some great things to say about the pressure that they are faced with this year. 60 years of pressure on the Detroit Lions this year. How is Dan Campbell handling that? We'll have that for you coming up. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's. It's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey gang, your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. That's because Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. They service the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more, visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com. If you're watching live, hey, maybe you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe to Woodward Sports as well. Less than 200 subscribers away from 46,000 on YouTube.
Okay.
Hit the like button as well. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. It helps YouTube.
Can't wait till we're 100,000.
I know. Helps YouTube push more of our content out to more people, so we appreciate that. Braylon Edwards, we all know the numbers about the Lions. 1957, 1991 was the last playoff win. 1993, the last division championship, and the last home playoff game. It has been 30 years since all of that. I was there. I'll never forget it.
Me too.
But there is 30 years of pressure, 60-plus years of pressure on Dan Campbell. How does he deal with it? Here's his answer.
They're all coming.
No, I don't feel weight. I feel wind underneath my freaking wings, man. That's what I feel.
Truthfully?
Truthfully.
It uplifts you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this, man. This is outstanding. I love our fans. I love that, man, they feel it like we feel it. And no, this is not a burden. This is not pressure. This is not weight. This is, man, this gives me inspiration is what it does for me and our guys.
So that was Dan Campbell, courtesy of the Lions Twitter page or Lions X page. I still am getting used to that.
It's Twitter.
That's fine. But Braylon, that's as close of a speech as I've heard to that Rex Ryan speech that you guys got in 2010.
Minus the curses.
Minus the curses. Just like, no.
HBO, baby.
We do not feel the pressure. We embrace it. We are not scared. We've got it. You know what I mean? We are not scared to have a little bit of an expectation here. We are not scared to be the favorites. We don't always have to be the underdog. We can be the favorite. We can be the the hunted, and that doesn't scare us. That doesn't bother us. I feel like that's a really close message to the one you guys got from Rex Ryan.
You know that feeling you get on your arm when the hair starts sticking up a little bit and the bumps start coming? Those bumps are called goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about that speech and when Rex gave it. Basically, you know, Maz, you can speak more to this in terms of where the Jets are. Jets are always been in the shadow. They've always been the little brother. They will always be the stepbrother.
They're the Lions of the AFC.
100%. But Rex gave us the confidence and the courage to say to hell with that. Like, why do we want to sneak up on teams? Like, why do we not want teams to know how good we are? Like, he gave us that courage, and we walked into every game after that believing we were the best team in the game. And I think that's what Dan Campbell is. In fact, I know that's what Dan Campbell is doing with the Lions. We're not the same old Lions. Like, we're not those guys anymore. And as it relates to the Bette Midler song, The Wind Beneath My Wings, he feels that way because it's not the pressure of 57 on him. It's not the pressure of 60 years. It's the pressure of the last 3 years.
Yep.
It's 3 years with Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's not the coaches and the players, the teams that came before. It's this regime. It's what they've done. It's how he built. So the pressure that's on him is the pressure that he's putting on himself. The Wind Beneath My Wings is a great song by, I keep laughing at that. But he feels it because they built it up the right way, and they want to now stalk guys. They want to be the 100 and 100 at the same time. And I think they're doing it. Like, when you give your team that confidence, when your team looks like, when they're watching ESPN, when they're watching Woodward Sports Network, when they're looking online and they see their coach say, it's like, we don't care who's coming. We're coming after everybody. We want everybody to know. We're comfortable with that. Then you go back him. And then as players, you're like, you know what? We got to back this guy like he backs us. So, you can say what you want about the Lions getting too much love. I can't wait to see what they do against Kansas City opening night.
This is the first time since I've been alive that I've ever heard the Lions being mentioned on national television, even when they were good in the 90s. You heard about Barry Sanders, but you didn't hear about Herman Moore or any of those guys. They were all overlooked. The Lions were always been overlooked. We know that.
Yeah.
We know we're the redheaded stepchild, or whatever you want to call it these days. It's time, man. The NFL knows. Just like Vegas knows. The NFL knows. They put the Lions on prime time against the Kansas City Chiefs for a reason. They are going to be the next step up for the NFL. They are putting them on the stage. No one's going to talk about taking Thanksgiving away from us anymore. They are going to be, wow, the Lions, they are Thanksgiving. It's a different way of looking at this team. Remember what Jim Schwartz said? We ain't scared. We ain't scared.
I know.
We ain't scared.
I hesitated to use the word scared because of that, but same thing.
I like Jim Schwartz.
Yeah.
I think he's still going to be a great head coach.
Difference with when Jim Schwartz said that, the team didn't believe that. He may have believed it, but the team didn't. When Dan Campbell says it, everybody in that building believes it at the same time. But another thing that's good for the Lions as it relates to where they are now, the expectations, where they're going to be in the foreseeable future, the division is in a bad space. Like, and I'm not saying that that's the way you should want it, but the division, like Chicago Bears, you don't know what Justin Fields and what that team is going to be and all the free agents they add in the offseason. Minnesota, 13-4, you still don't trust him. Green Bay, where's Jordan Love? What is he going to be? The Lions are this couldn't happen at a better time in terms of where the NFC North is. It's the perfect time for the Lions to make a statement. And like you always say, Ryan, after the Bengals did their thing, why not us? Why not?
I totally agree with it, and there's good reason for that too. First of all, Dan Campbell, I thought sounded like Bill Parcells there too, a little bit. That's his, but that's his
that's his guy.
That's his guy. It's a guy who drafted him in the league. It's a guy who was his mentor. So yes, no, they're not going to be scared by any expectations. John Kaminsky had this to say about the Lions too, just talking about how their second team, the Lions' backups, are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That second unit, and you know, they're going to cut guys this year. The Lions are going to cut guys. So they're going to not only make other NFL rosters, but they're probably going to get significant playing time. It is just who they are, and you see it on the screen right now.
We got the sound as well.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's sound on that one. There's sound on that one and the other Instagram one. It's like a two-parter.
Two-parter.
Okay, it's a two-parter, but you got to hear what he says too, because he not only says they're as good as the first unit. He's not even saying we're pretty good. He's saying we got two number one units. I love this guy.
While While we're waiting for this, just give me a heads up when you get it, Parker. Like the teams that I've been on that have been good, like the NFC, like when the Seattle Seahawks team that I was on, Legion of Boom, that got to the semifinals round. The 49ers that got to the NFC Championship and lost to the Giants. The Jets teams that got to the AFC Championship. Our second team was damn good. Like our second teams, like we would go up against them and get our ass whooped sometimes. Like you legitimately have those, and you're like, damn, they iron sharpens iron. The teams that are successful, the teams that win the Super Bowl, their second team can give them that challenge. Their second team can go in and fill that void from time when guys get injured or guys get nicked up, guys like that. The teams I've been on that have been horrible, man, you look at that second team like, man, if one of us get hurt, we're in trouble. Like you look at that team like going to practices aren't that hard because guys aren't that good. Teams that I've been on that have won, that second team was damn good and they challenge you every day.
All right, here, Parker, you got that? Here, this is John Kaminsky.
Yeah, I definitely think that our second team is just as strong as the first team. So there can be some rotational pieces. We can run a couple different personnels, get everybody moving. Everybody can have a role on this team. We're going to have fresh legs on the field more. So I think there's just a lot more options. Yep.
Man, that is my guy. I love John Kaminsky, and he provided something last year that the Lions desperately needed. A force in the middle of that defense. I think they were 9-4 in games that he played. 9-4 in games that he played last year, if memory serves correct. Guys, Khalif Raymond talking about last year, too. Here's what he had to say about this.
We always say it doesn't matter what you've done in the years past, but I remember walking off the field last year, the first time with a winning season compared to what we did in 2021. It was one of the happiest moments I had, man. It felt really cool. So just excited to embark on this new journey going forward, man, because it's all about now. So,
Khalif,
how cool was it that the team that cut him, he returned the punt against? Man, how cool was that last year? Return that punt against the New York Jets, the team that cut him. That was great.
He's really made a name for himself here.
Yeah,
and they call him Leaf.
They mess with him.
Leaf.
Like they mess with him, and that's slang for a good thing. They mess with him a lot.
He loves it because he says I think he said it's one of the first times he's ever been part of a winning season. That's what I mean. These guys they don't know what it is to win here. I mean, how many winning seasons have the Lions had? I mean, you got to go back and look, but not a hell of a lot.
I actually did that.
Since the 90s.
In the 21 years of Ford Field.
Can I guess?
They have had, yes.
Two?
Well, here's the way I did it. In the 21 years of Ford Field, in 16 of the 21 years, they finished in either third or fourth in the division.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Of a four-team division.
Yeah.
5 different times they finished in second place, and they made the playoffs 3 times.
Wow.
11, 14,
all with Sue,
and 16.
In the last
last one, Sue's gone.
In the last 25 years, the Lions have had 6 seasons where they finished above 500.
And I think only 2 of them since 1990. I think since 1992. This is easy to do. I might as well do it right now.
I'm looking at it right now.
Since 1992, I think the Lions have had 2 seasons in which they won double-digit games.
That's pretty sad.
3.
3?
Yeah. Well, since 92 too.
Since
91, 3.
Since 1992, the Lions have had 2 seasons where they won double-digit games.
11-5 in 2014 and 10-6 in 2011.
This will be the 3rd.
You want to know why people are so high on this season?
Paint.
Pain.
I said paint. That's been fun.
Guys, the coaches poll is out. We're going to turn our attention to college football. Where is Michigan? And an interesting question I have for you coming up. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC offers the same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, standing strong where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. All GM brands right here. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf located inside the Cambria Hotel in downtown Detroit. And this Thursday, actually, I lied about it being the 25th. This Thursday, the golf league actually starts. So come down, sign up, 5 Iron Golf. Look, you want to hang out, have a good time, shoot golf, but you don't want to go out to California. You don't want to go down to Augusta in Georgia. You know what? 13 simulators. They have every course in the world so you can play and have a good time. Drinks, food, and guess what? Your first time will be on us. Say code word Woodward Sports.
Hey, everybody. Hour number 2. Thanks for hanging with us. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got JB. We got Parker here. And feels like a little bit of a Christmas in one respect. We got a poll out today. The USA Today Top 25 Coaches Poll came out for college football, and your Michigan Wolverines are number 2 in the country. It goes Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Alabama 3, Ohio State 4, LSU 5, and then 6 through 10, USC, Penn State, Florida State, Clemson, and Tennessee.
That's a lot of Big Ten teams.
Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it?
With the exception of 1998, and Maz knows why, and you do too, is because the coaches, they screwed us, and there was one particular coach, Phil Fulmer, who I'll never forgive. But that's water under the bridge. The coaches poll is always the one you want to pay attention to in terms of which teams do the coaches, which team do the actual players believe are that elite. A lot of times with the media, man, it's biasness. It's, hey, let me buy this slide. It's, well, we like this team. When you get the coaches, when you get those honorary SOBs to sit down and say, hey, this Michigan team, they're for real. When they come in at number 2, that's a respected word. That means these are the coaches that you may have to play against this year and next year in the playoff of 12. So the fact that they're number 2 in the coaches poll to start the season, it bodes well for what they believe this team is, man. And people need to pay attention to that. This Michigan team, Myron, you called it. It's got to be that year.
Hey, if you remember last year, guy from Fox, R.J. Young, and I know you've done some shows with him.
Oh, he's a hoot.
He's a hoot. He didn't have Michigan. He didn't have Michigan in his top 25, and I think he had MSU in the top 10.
Yeah, he hates Michigan.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a good dude, but he hates Michigan.
I wonder where Michigan was last year in the coaches poll, because I can't remember. I know in his poll they didn't make the top 25, and I think they were pretty low last year too. I don't think expectations were high, right?
Yeah, Michigan, because the big thing last year, and we talked about that last season, was the big thing for going into last season was how do you replace Aiden Hutchinson?
Yep.
How do you replace David Ojabo? That was the big thing last year, so they didn't have Michigan ranked. But same thing I told you, was like, well, where were Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo the season before that? I said somebody will show themselves, and last year, Mike Morris and Mazi Smith showed themselves. So they're number 2 to start the season. It's good for Michigan. It's a lot of respect out of the coaches.
Right. Would you rather be number 2 going into the season or behind number 10, between 10 and 20?
I think you always want to start high, because when you start high, if you fall, you don't fall too bad.
Yeah, you don't fall as far.
You always want to start high. I am happy that Michigan is number 2. I think they've earned number 2. I think they are number 2 right now, but they will not stay number 2 long. The minute, I think it's week 2, on September 9th, Alabama plays Texas. Alabama is going to pound Texas, and Alabama is going to jump up to 2.
Yeah.
So one of the questions is, how long, these polls are nice, But because of Michigan's non-conference schedule, because Michigan doesn't even play anybody to week 5, and that somebody that they play is a bad Nebraska team, Michigan is going to fall. You've got Alabama playing Texas in week 2. You've got Ohio State playing Notre Dame in week 4. So I could see a scenario in which Michigan, throughout the first month of the season break, falls to 4 or even 5.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, when you're 11 and you lose early, that 11 turns into 23. Like, when you're 2 and you lose early, that 2 turns to 5. Like, that 2 turns to 4. And they want you to stay in that spot. You're absolutely right in terms of the game that those teams play, in terms of the strength of schedule. It can move those guys ahead. But they want Michigan to be where they are. As long as Michigan wins each game handily by 20 more points, even if they don't play anybody early on, I think they'll keep them there. But if they start having those, which they haven't done, they start having those Cincinnati games, those Air Force games from 3-4 years ago, where they're close to those teams, they will drop them.
Here's the thing, Harbaugh is going to play most of his guys in the first four games. It's unlike any other team. He'll play his guys. You're only going to see J.J. McCarthy a half, right? Right? Am I right?
Probably.
I disagree this year. I disagree this year, and the reason why is Harbaugh wants a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, Harbaugh's the guy that wants the Heisman. Like, he pushed Jabril when Jabril came up for it. Last year, 2 years ago, he pushed Aiden Hutchinson for it. He wants a Heisman guy. He had Andrew Luck. He got very close in Stanford. He's going to push J.J. or one of them, J.J. or Blake. I could see him playing more than halves just to get those stats up so that he can be in New York. So I think he might play a little bit more.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
There's always teams in these top 25s too. And look, I see a bunch of people in the chat now. Alabama's not gonna pound Texas, and that's fine. Maybe they won't. But
do you believe in Arch Manning?
Right. Quinn Ewers.
And that's what I'm saying.
Disaster,
yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you.
He cut his mullet though.
Yeah,
That's
good for him. Maybe he takes it a little seriously. Florida State, they ain't going to be any good.
Yeah, they got a good quarterback.
They'll be better.
Washington is intriguing again because of Michael Penix Jr. But I don't know, man.
Last year, by the way.
Yeah, he's been in college 8 years, man. That COVID year, I feel like it was supposed to give each individual an extra year. It gave him 2.
Yeah,
it gave him 2.
But guys, you just you look at number 2, and I do think it's exciting. When Jim Harbaugh got hired here in 2015 or whatever, this is what you thought, right? You thought they'd be top 5 team every year, competing for a national title and winning national titles. This is the year to get it done, and I think that's one of the reasons why it seems so lackluster. Yeah. Any talk about the Michigan Wolverines right now, it feels so hard to drum up any excitement for this football team. And part of that is on us. Part of that is on us as a fan base, because our expectation now is beat Ohio State, win a playoff game, win the national championship. It's like the season starts on November 25th. Or whatever the date is.
Yeah.
College football season doesn't even start until November 20th, till after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 100%. Get back to that in a second. LSU plays Florida State the first week of the season.
I like
Florida
that
State's
game.
8, LSU's 6, or LSU is 5. If LSU beats the hell out of Florida State, LSU could jump us week 2.
Right, they could.
But going back to what you said about Michigan, and you know why that is, Ryan? Because Michigan, us as alums or us as fans, we always thought Michigan was creme de la creme. We always thought we were Big Ten champs. Even when we were terrible, we still had the idea that this is who we were. The others, like Michigan State in this state, they looked at Michigan like, blah, blah. They've always thought that's where we belong. Like, even now, like, Michigan State was like, all right, that's where you're supposed to be. Like, you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's the attitude. Michigan now is doing what they're supposed to do. And so it's like, we're not giving you any credit for being 12-0. You're supposed to do that. We're not giving you any credit for being. You're supposed to do that. Everybody has Michigan back. This is the standard. You're supposed to do that.
Is TCU anywhere near this?
I think TCU.
Because last year, if you're finishing in the
18th.
Well, you're finishing in the top 4 last year, the top 4 playoff teams. Shouldn't they be coming into this year right back to where they were?
You lost your quarterback.
TCU is 16th.
You lost your quarterback that was a Heisman finalist. You lost your running back, got drafted in the 3rd round. You lost your receiver who got drafted in the 1st round.
Who's a stud.
You lost your DB who was a Jim Thorpe winner last year. They lost a lot, and they were a team that, I don't want to say limp, but they snuck in the college football playoff last year.
They were worthy.
They were, but they lost everything. Like, they lost Absolutely everything. So I can see why they're 16.
You know, who's the Texas A&M this year? Is there Texas A&M? What was Texas A&M last year? The preseason top 25. Were they like three?
Yes.
3 or 4. Yep. And then lost 6 games and we're out of. Is there
first time that's ever happened?
Is there a Texas A&M on this year's poll? You know,
yes.
Who?
It's 2. It's 3 of them. One is in our conference.
Who?
Penn State.
Penn State.
One.
Number 7, Penn State.
You think Penn State's going to fall?
I think Penn State's going to fall. I never trust Florida State.
I never trust Florida State either until they show me.
And even though I think he's going to win a Heisman again, I don't trust Southern Cal. I don't trust what they have. Those are the 3 I think.
Their defense.
I think because they don't play defense.
Exactly. Clemson's going to be the sneaky team.
You think they're going to be sneaky good?
Sneaky good.
Okay.
Sneaky good.
That's good.
Sneaky good.
No, Texas for me. I want Texas to be good. I'm just not a fan of Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I agree.
You know, just don't.
He's a millionaire.
I don't like Sarkisian either. There's something about it's something about Sarkisian. I don't hate him, but it's something about him just like I don't trust Sarkisian.
He's a slime ball.
Could be that. I mean, his best friend is Lane Kiffin.
Aren't they all?
Right.
Birds of a feather.
Guys, where does the Pac-12 go from here? The Pac-4 really.
Man.
I want to explore
Into
that.
the ocean.
I want to explore that question with you next. We'll do that. What do these teams do? Cal, Stanford, Washington State, and Oregon State. We'll explore that next. They do have one hope.
Get your Apple subscription ready.
We'll get there next, but first a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in Downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Feel the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports Network.
You laugh at it.
Oh, my wife just texted me.
How's Nicole doing?
She's doing all right.
What'd she say?
No, just something about dinner.
Kids are driving her up a wall. What are you buying for dinner on the way home?
What are you
tonight?
bringing home? I'm not cooking tonight.
I'm stopping at my mom's house to pick up some spaghetti
smart.
sauce.
Sahara's closed.
Yeah, I know. Sahara's is closed.
Sahara downtown. We almost went there on
That is a beautiful
Saturday.
place.
Really?
We almost went Saturday.
That's that closed off street, Ryan. You ever go to that
it's
street?
Like, it's called
No,
the
which
district, I
street?
think.
Yeah, it's almost like it's it's like the district Detroit should be.
It's in between.
It's all bricks. It's a brick
Hockey Town.
It's beautiful.
And Fillmore.
Oh, no kidding.
It's like in between.
And they got all kinds of shops down there.
No kidding.
Frida
really
Batito. The M Den.
Wow.
They got an M Den.
Really?
Frida Batito's.
It's literally across the street from Comerica.
Get out of
Walk
here.
across, and it's a closed-off street.
Oh my God, that's so cool. They got an M Den there.
M Den.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sahara's
They got a
M-Den.
coffee shop, an ice cream parlor.
Ice cream, like that little bar outside.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Really nice. I wish
gotta
I could
check
think of
that
the
out.
street name.
I gotta check that
I don't
out.
know, but yeah, it's literally because the restaurant on the corner, the new one that's outside, is right next to the Fillmore. That's where it opens up, man.
It's in between the Fox and the.
Yeah, it's like
Fillmore,
almost an
Yeah.
alley, but it's a street.
It's
That
nice.
is so cool.
Frida Batito's.
Guys, the Pac-4 obviously in trouble. You've
Right.
got 4 teams left. Everybody else
That
bolted.
looks sad.
Cal and Stanford, Washington State, and Oregon State. Pete Carroll actually commented on this today. Says, so sad what's happened to the Pac-12. Really disappointed that this conference broke up. It did not have to be like this. But
Commissioner blew
apparently
it.
it did, because they cannot get a television deal. That you don't get a television deal because
Not time zone.
well, the time zone, and people have other things to do.
He had 3 years to get something done.
If you just look at if you just look at the capacity of these stadiums in the Pac-12, there's only 2 really that sell out. It's Oregon and Washington. Not even USC and UCLA.
They're always empty.
They play in half-empty stadiums.
Yeah. Well, they got the Coliseum and the Rose Bowl, 2 of the oldest stadiums in the country.
It's just a different vibe on the West Coast as it relates to like sports, or especially football. It's different. Like when you're in LA, or you're in Eugene, Oregon, or you're in Beaverton, or whatever. When you're out there and Saturday come up, you're like, should I go see Oregon play, or should I go like smoke weed and like chill outside and enjoy
Some
nature?
campsite.
Should I go, exactly. Should I go to Joshua?
Can't you just smoke at the game?
Maybe I'll go surfing.
Right.
You know, I don't have the anxiety to think about that. Like, this is that LA vibe. It's chill. Like, that's the vibe out there. It's very different. Like, I don't know if I want to be around people and cheer. Like, over here, east of the Mississippi, it's football. Like, it's football. Like, you, like, legitimately, you make your plans year round for what you make your schedule yearly on football games. Like, I remember my best friend had shout out to Simeon, Richard Simeon. He got married the day Michigan was playing Florida, right?
Oh, yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
He got like, I was like, who does that? They're not planning weddings on the West Coast around the USC and around Oregon and Washington State. They could care less. Here it's like, hold on, what day is that wedding? I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna be able to make it. It's a different energy out there, and that's why everybody. It's 4 teams left.
Parker, throw up the Pac-12
Blame Jim
statement
Harbaugh.
from the commissioner. That's the second one. Yeah, let's put up the statement. Rye, you got good eyes. Can you read that?
This is the statement from the Pac-12 Conference. Today's news is incredibly disappointing for student athletes, fans, alumni, staff of the Pac-12 who cherish the over 100-year history, tradition, and rivalries of the Conference of Champions. We remain focused on securing the best possible future for each of our member universities. So that means they're going to help facilitate a move to another conference, and the AAC is interested. I don't even know what the AAC is.
The American Athletic
Man,
Conference.
that looks like a high school all-star game.
So sad.
Cincy and UConn, and I don't know who else is in that.
God. Nobody wants Oregon
Houston
State and
was
Washington State, by the way.
Why?
I don't understand.
They're quality teams.
Something about like the Big 12 wanted to consume the entire Pac-12, but they accept Oregon State, Washington State.
I don't get it. Ryan Leaf's alma mater, Washington State.
And that in itself is why they didn't want them. But the one thing about the Pac-12, the one thing about, dang, you mentioned that Ryan Leaf. That's funny. I actually know him personally. He's a good dude. I forgot, I lost my train of thought.
Damn, I'm sorry, dude.
We got to get Ryan Leaf on one day.
He's doing his thing now, breaking down quarterbacks in the NFL. He's come a long way, man.
Something about the Pac-12, something about the conference dissolved, Pete Carroll.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, good call. So I'm listening to other sports, like other student athletes talking about like what NIL, this is their misconception, what NIL and what greedy football has done to college landscape. Just think if you're a gymnast at Oregon State and you're like, I don't have anybody to compete against and blah, 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 blah. They're like, it sucks that football and greed has done that. I will say this. It does suck that Football and Greed has done that. But let's not act like football hasn't paid those bills at all these institutions for a very long time. You wasn't giving the credit then. Now that your schools are losing, now you're starting to be like, man, it sucks. No.
If I was the commissioner of the whole NCAA, I would make
Nick Saban.
I would make like the Mountain West or one of those other the WACs, the Western Athletic. Put them together and make that the new Pac-12. Keep the name the Pac-12 instead of I don't know, man. To me, it's just something that you just don't piss away. All the years of history and everything. Keep those 4 teams there, and let's add on a couple more of the Western conferences in there at least, and then go out and get yourself a real TV deal.
Well, the Mountain West, then they're not going to just let their teams walk.
Mountain West, like not. At the end,
what's more prestigious? Sounding
Brett
at least.
McMurphy says,
Pac-10.
I have sources that say the Mountain West will not add any of the 4 remaining teams.
That's funny.
It makes me laugh.
That's if you can't get added to the Mountain West.
You don't want Stanford or Cal?
Either an independence or a drop to Division I AA.
Oh my God!
It appears likely.
Are you kidding?
Cal and Stanford, 1 AA.
Wow. They can go play Jackson State.
You gotta be kidding me!
Jackson State. I mean, yeah. Wow. It's like Aaron Rodgers College no longer exists.
I'd rather have those 4 teams.
And Jared Goff too.
Look,
good call.
Help me out in the Big Ten.
Jeff
here.
Tedford.
Okay, help me out.
Okay.
You got Cal and Stanford, Oregon State and Washington State. I'd rather put them in the Big Ten and give away Northwestern, Maryland. I know Rutgers. I know you got to keep from the East, and I'm from the East. And pick another freaking team that's Nebraska. And I used to love Nebraska as a kid. Nebraska, Oklahoma on Thanksgiving Day was the thing when I was a young guy. Nebraska ain't doing anything now, and I know it's a new regime.
Right.
Give them back to the Pac-12. I'd rather have those 4 schools than the 4 I just told you about.
I will respectfully disagree on these grounds. Like, no
What
one
do you want
cares.
Northwestern for?
Because they're close to Chicago and they got a
You
name.
got Illinois.
Okay, but you don't. Because Illinois is a big name. They're a bigger name, but Northwestern means more. Like, when you say Cal, Washington State, Oregon State, and Stanford, the majority of the country can't tell you anybody that's playing on those teams now or ever played for those teams. Like, ever. Nobody cares about Washington State. Outside of Ryan Leaf, name me another player. Stanford, like, outside of Andrew, I know we can.
Jim Plunkett.
I knew exactly where you're going. Heisman Trophy winner,
Christian
Super Bowl winner.
McCaffrey.
I understand. Okay, that's 2. And, man, you've been watching sports for 60 years. Like, the average person can't name 1. Nobody cares about Oregon State. The last person that went to Oregon State that I know is Derek Anderson. It's my quarterback from Cleveland. So when you're trying to get TV deals, when you got USC in your conference and Oregon, and you can't get a TV deal, you think they're going to be able to string this thing together with some Mountain West and get a TV deal? Man, that shit, it sucks, man, because you know I'm a traditionalist and a history guy like you. Pac-10 is gone and it ain't ever coming back.
Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers.
And they never
Joe
won.
Roth.
And none of them won the national championship.
Chuck Muncie.
Didn't win the national championship.
I guess the thing that I just
great player, by the way,
can't understand is why nobody would want them. I mean, it just appears that nobody wants these schools.
Didn't Oregon State have something come up with their coach?
I don't know. Oregon State was
they fired him because
Brady Hoke was Oregon State, wasn't he?
No, he was Arizona State. He was what was he? I don't know. The Oregon State coach wouldn't get the shot. Remember when we did that story? He wouldn't get the shot, and he lost his contract. They had to fire him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Marshawn Lynch, by the way.
Yeah, that's
he probably should sue by now.
No, that was hush hush. That was under the table. They gave him something.
Oh God, guys are gonna go back to the NFL.
Maybe he can coach the women's soccer team.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, like. With the soccer, so I watched some of that. You know what that says to me? Just the rest of the world is catching up. Like, I feel like whenever you do international, somebody's catching up. Like, it's either they're catching up to us or we're catching up to them. And the women, for this to never have happened, people have caught up to them.
They scored 4 goals the entire tournament. I mean, it's wild.
And then one of your best players ever
over the hill
misses a. Very true. Misses a penalty shot. Like misses a penalty kick.
She had too much on her. She had too much on her chest.
She has nothing on her chest, actually. She
Excuse me.
retired
She had
3
too
years
much on her shoulders. She took on way too much.
She retired 3 years ago and then came back.
Yes.
Like that rest of the world is caught up. I think there's too many distractions over it too.
A lot of distractions, no doubt about it. And the rest of the world is just like, here to play soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
Here to play football.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see. Guys, going to take a break, go back to the NFL next. Lots of news and notes around the league, including Jamar Chase does not want to see Joe Burrow. Until when? We'll have that. But first, a message from Big Boy.
Yes, sir. Strawberry Fest continuing, guys. You want to start off your day with a great breakfast. The strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffles. Or how about a little brunch for you? How about the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or the summer splash salad, and that strawberry pie's waiting for you for dessert. It's a classic. It's been around for years. The deep fried vanilla Oreo, the strawberry hot fudge cake, and a lot more at your local Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim.
Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and don't forget that Ermanni and Edwards, will be broadcasting from their carnival on August 24th. Come meet the staff and explore your child's new school. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment. If you want to look into that, go to academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
Hey, paid.
I'm always excited when we go to Academy of Warren, man, because it's just a great thing what they've done with that school. Look, and I know it's Warren. This is Detroit. It's literally on 8 Mile and Warren. It's Detroit. What they've done for that school in terms of students, the latchkey programs, like the liberal art and science programs, even the athletic programs, the thing that they've done with that school, man, it's a bold and a testament to people wanting to further education for kids. I love it.
No doubt about it. It's going to be a great atmosphere out there as well. Brady Hoke, by the way, second stint as head coach at San Diego State. He was the defensive coordinator at Oregon
there you go.
After he left Michigan. I knew he was something out in Oregon.
Chip?
Defensive coordinator in Oregon in 2016. Did they win the chip that year?
No, I'm trying. No, Chip Kelly's what I'm thinking. I'm like, who was the coach at the time? Because Chip was with the Eagles at that time.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Chip Kelly.
Interesting. Good
Brady
stuff.
Hope, Ball State.
That's right. Guys, we're going to go around the NFL with the great Tom Mazawey.
Hey, fellas, I want to start off with a little Lions for you. Didn't get to it earlier.
Lions.
Kirby Joseph. You always want to hear from Kirby Joseph. Last week, he's look how he's the most excited guy on the team. If you get this guy, if this guy doesn't get you excited for the year, nobody will. Here he is talking about a couple of players from Iowa that are on the squad.
Oh, yeah. Salem Porter, you already know we go way back. You know what I'm saying? A little Iowa, Illinois thing, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of already knew about it, bro. But when he came here, I was like, yeah, I know, like, Iowa always produces great tight ends and stuff like that. So when I saw them drive Sam Laporta, I was like, oh, yeah, that boy a dog.
Jack Campbell?
Jack Campbell, a dog.
dog.
He is going to be the number one guy that everybody wants to interview.
You know it.
You know why?
And CJ.
Because he's
Totally
honest, there's no
entertaining.
BS, and he's entertaining.
It's all entertainment. He's
CJ
putting on a
Gardner
show.
Johnson too. Did you see him on Family Feud?
Banana.
How about it?
Family Feud. Yeah, Kirby Joseph is
That's
great.
my
You
guy.
gotta have guys on your team like Kirby Joseph. They're not afraid of the media. They're not afraid to say how they feel. They're not afraid to say the thing that people are hiding and too scared to say. He'll say it, but he's also gonna be the guy that's backing it up on the field. He's also go ahead.
No, finish though. I was just
He's just gonna be the guy that backs it up on the field. And he's gonna have fun, like you said, doing it.
If you don't know, a couple of the Lions were Amon-Ra St. Brown, C.J. Gardner-Johnson on Family Feud last night, and the Celebrity Edition. And the question from Steve Harvey was, "What food does a female eat that turns you on?" And C.J. Gardner said, "Banana." And Steve Harvey was like, "Why are you so ashamed to say that? Why you say that with shame?" It was the number one answer.
Damn
I was
right.
like, where do they come up with these questions?
I would have said Cherry in a second.
Yeah.
He's got a great personality too. That guy.
Oh God, the
I
best.
mean, two guys. Look how that defensive backfield has changed with those two guys.
Unbelievable.
I love it. And they took them this weekend. They went to our favorite place, the Folding Warehouse.
Ooh.
You know it. Check out the Lions having some fun in Hamtramck.
You threw first. It's no rebuttal. You threw first. Hey, y'all get through.
I'm hitting. I'm only hit one though.
Yes, star. Oh,
Fraley with the bonk. They brought the Hamtramck to the Lions at Ford Field there at their practice facility. Chris Annoni had, of course, the great hosts.
Former teammate one, baby. Hank Fraley, man. One of my former
So
teammates.
cool.
You know what's funny about Folding? Like, as a football player, it sucks going Folding because everybody expects you to win. Like, when you lose in a Folding match, they're like, we beat you. Like, bro, it's Folding. Like, it's not real football, but you got to win if you're a
So
football player.
funny to see how some guys throw too, like Aiden Hutchinson.
Well, maybe he don't want to throw his arm out.
No reverse passes in his future. No reverse passes in his future.
Let's go.
His job is a second guy throwing the ball.
Hey, last week you saw the Hall of Fame game. It was the Jets and the Browns. Do you know? Put up the stat on this game. Even preseason football is king amongst all the sports, Ryan. Look at these numbers.
2023 NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup final, Field of Dreams game, that's baseball, 2022 MLS Cup. Unbelievable.
It beat them all.
6.3 million viewers on NBC and probably lost a few
Because
when the
of
lights
Peacock.
went out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then they do a good job with the Hall of Fame weekend in terms of how they structured over 2 days to get that attendance. But everybody want to watch football. Like, football is king. People want to see it. And a lot of people probably thought they were going to see Aaron Rodgers playing too. But football is king, man.
And tomorrow is the debut of HBO's Hard Knocks, so you can take a look at the Jets if you
Winning
want.
time. Last night.
Winning time. I have it on the DVR.
Okay.
I'll watch it tonight. Can't wait.
Oh, Winning Time
It came out
season
last
2.
night. Yep.
It's
What are they
back.
going to focus on?
Probably the after Jack McCloskey got passed over for Pat Riley. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
who was the coach?
Pat
before,
Riley.
Before Pat Riley.
Westhead.
Paul Westhead.
Paul Westhead.
So now
So-
Paul Westhead is going to wind up getting canned, and Pat Riley will wind up taking over.
So what they're going to focus on too is that, but they're going to focus on them losing. Because remember, next year they lost to Celtics. So they're going to focus on that, and then they'll focus on when they got back and beat Sixers.
And of course,
the Celtics.
And of course, to watch the Jerry West, the way they portray Jerry West is just
He's nuts,
freaking hilarious.
I
And the real Jerry West hates it, HBO said, we don't give a damn. This is what we're doing.
That's
It's
awesome.
so
It's a
good.
show.
Well, remember we had Spencer Haywood on the show.
That's
and
it.
When we had Spencer. He was like, "Yeah, I laugh at it." He's like, "Most of it is true."
Yeah.
Like, he's a straight shooter. He was like, "Most of that stuff is true." You asked him about the Jerry
did.
West stuff. He was like, "He mad because it's true."
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Hey,
I
here's
love
a little
it.
something for you guys. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we got the scare as NFL fans when we saw Joe Burrow go down holding his calf. We thought it might be his Achilles. Instead, it is his calf.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, in an interview, said, hey, Joe, cool off for a bit.
Do you have any doubt that he'll be there week 1?
I told him, and with all honesty, I don't want him there.
You don't
know
want
what I'm
him to
saying?
play week 1?
Same thing with me last year.
You want him week 20 for the AFC Championship game.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I set out an extra game just to let my hip all the way heal up. And, you don't want to cause no other problems later on in the season. I told him, as long as you're there after week 5 and on, we're good, brother.
What did he say to that? I'm sorry. Did he respond to that?
I mean, he just told me, he's going to see how he feels when the time comes. He doesn't know when he'll be back, but, he'll be back soon. And, what time will.
That's NFL Network, Andrew Siciliano with the call.
Like, that's support, man. Like, and that's the type of support that you want to see. Hey, look, bro. It's about the long game. Like, it's about the end of the game. It's about the end of the year. It's about January. We want to have you right. But this is key because this is one of those things. Remember, we were talking about one of our biggest things that we've talked about since we've been on the show is the backup quarterback.
Yep.
You talk about the backup quarterback. It's not about having a guy in place to replace the guy that's starting. It's about just in case something like this happens where you miss 4 games, you got a guy ready in the wings. The Cincinnati Bengals schedule opens up as in terms of the 4 games that he'll miss. He'll miss the Browns. He'll miss the Ravens. Then he misses the Rams and the Titans. They can be 2-2 with Trevor Siemian. They can even be 3-1, depending on how good the Browns are. They're losing to the Ravens, but they can be 3-1. But you got a guy in the wing. And by the way, it was Jake Brown. It was Jake Browning. They got a quarterback from Washington because he's a 3rd-string quarterback for the Bengals. That's how I saw it.
And don't forget, Teddy Bridgewater's still out there.
Exactly. So you got a guy in Trevor Siemian. He can win. You can go 2-2, but you just have to have a guy that could come in for a couple games like Cooper Rush did last year for the Dallas Cowboys and keep your playoff hopes going or keep you in the spot that you want to be. Not a replacement, but a guy that can do the job. And I think him telling Joe Burrow, bro, it's about January.
Hey, another quarterback that you want to talk about, a guy that I always backed. Baker Mayfield's not having a good.
Sometimes you're just wrong about guys. You're just wrong about guys.
He's not having a good camp with Tampa Bay. Ryan, you could read the numbers.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield has thrown 7 interceptions in 9 practices.
Look, man. Well, Baker Mayfield, he won the playoff game 3 years ago. We understand that the Browns have done. But when you watch it, it just doesn't look good. Like, it's gotten worse and worse. And even the game last year, the Rams game, the infamous, you saw the great comeback. It's like 11 penalties that they gave him the comeback per se. He just ain't it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Baker Mayfield just ain't it.
I hate to say this because I don't know this for sure. Right. It's impossible to know this. But he just looks like a guy when he's out there on the field or he just looks like a guy that doesn't put the work in. Doesn't put the work in the classroom. Doesn't put the work in the film study. I mean, he just looks like, was it a Hard Knocks? I know there was
he
some.
Was on Hard Knocks.
He was on Hard Knocks, yeah. I was going to say, I know there's some documentary style about it. He just doesn't look like a guy that puts the work in.
Also, he looks like a guy.
In the classroom.
He loved being on TV commercials, though. Progressive, remember those?
Yeah,
those were great commercials.
He had more commercials and touchdowns.
Yeah,
but he also looks like a guy that alienates people. Like, he also just looks like a guy. Like, he's not hanging out with the linemen getting beers on Tuesday. Like, he's not hanging out with the wide receivers. Like,
you remember he had a birthday party and
nobody came.
No one went. Very few people went.
Was that him or Odell? That was Odell that had the birthday party.
Oh, okay.
That was Odell.
I thought it was Baker.
But it would have been the same with Baker. He just looks like a guy that doesn't hang out with his teammates, man. Like, and at the quarterback position, more than any other position, you don't have to be buddy. You don't have to be best friends with your offense, but you gotta know your offense. Your offense has to feel like you want to hang with them at some point. And whatever it is, you find the common ground. Hey, you're a golfer. I don't golf, but Let's go golf.
I drive your cart.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, you drink beer? I'm not a beer drinker, but you know what? Let me see what this new IPA is
Some
talking
high
about. 100%. You got to meet them halfway, and he just doesn't seem like a guy that does that.
Guys, I got to take a break. Before we do, I'm making fun of Aiden Hutchinson, the way he throws it a little bit. Here, let me show you how to throw a football, okay? This is in dress shoes.
This is the parking lot. I knew it. Yeah, this is a great throw.
Great pattern by our man.
Derek Kennedy.
Did you see the drop back? And you took no wasted motion. That's what I love. That's what I love about it. No wasted motion. 1-2 drop back, boom.
Never came out of the game.
Drew Lane wanted to ask how many takes that took.
One.
All right.
It was one.
It's like one. Me, you at the big house.
That's it. One. Guys, let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Source, aged, prime, cut, packed to perfection.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Want to get back to the NFL news and notes, including Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons said, I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame, but I just don't want to go in the Hall of Fame. I want to go in as one of the best ever. He's put himself up there with Lawrence Taylor, and he's going into his 3rd year. So far, so good, Bray.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, Maz, you talk about all
he
the
ain't
time.
LT though.
No, he's not LT. He's not LT. He's. They switched his focus on his position this year, so we'll see. It'd be interesting to see how he plays as a primarily rush in this year as opposed to outside linebacker. But he's on a great trajectory. First of all, Micah Parsons, if you're in the Hall, that means you're one of the greatest ever. But in terms of being LT, that's a tall order. That's a tall task, and the reason why it's such a tall task, man, is now I'm about to give you some LT love today.
Thank you.
Like LT changed the game, not the position, not defense. He changed the game. Like he was a player that at all times, where the hell is 56? Like you had to construct your game plan, your season plan around LT. What he did at that position, he also won championships. Now he's not the sole reason why, but he's the predominant reason why they won championships. To go in the Hall or to get ahead of LT, it's not just about doing it stat-wise. It's not just about doing it in terms of defensive player of the years or all-pro selection. It's about winning Super Bowls, which LT has 3 of. It's about winning defensive players of the year. And it's just about being that guy. When LT was in the league, there was nobody else you talked about at that position. Yeah, Bruce Smith was great. Yeah, Howie Long was great, early 80s. A lot of great players. He was it. Right now, Micah Parsons is like, you got Nick Bosa. You got T.J. Watt. You have Micah Parsons. You have Hassan Reddick. You have Aiden Hutchinson will eventually get to that point. When LT was in the league, there was him, and there was everybody else.
Yep.
Would you love to be like the guy that, like, okay, you make it to the professionally athlete. It's great. People know your name. But, like, to be the guy that you game plan against, you know how good you are, man.
Jesus, man.
My dad told this story.
That's why I say I think he's the greatest player of all time. Period.
And you know what? You're
might
not wrong.
not be wrong, right?
And you're not wrong. For me, it's him or Jerry. Like, and what I told this story, my dad told on the show. I love this story so much. My dad's playing against the Giants, and this is I think it's 84, this is like 85 or 86, playing against the Giants. My dad played with the Houston Oilers, and he's trying to block LT. Tries to block him on the first play, and LT
Stan's a beast.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a beast.
And LT ran through my dad. So then the next play, or the next time he came to the sideline, the O-line coach is like, hey, come on, Stan, got to get that block. They come back out another series, and my dad, misses another block. They come back to the sideline. Offensive line coach says something to him again. Said, hey, 34, come on, man. You got to get that block for us. So then the same thing happened again, and then he comes out the third time, and the offensive line coach is about to tell my dad again, hey, and the offensive lineman, Bruce Matthews, is like, hey, it's not his fault. We can't F him block him. That's one of my favorite stories. He's like,
that's a Hall of Famer.
We can't F him block him. Bruce Matthews argued best offensive lineman all the time.
Wow.
Said, we can't block him. It was like, it's a great story.
That is so awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Ron Jaworski, Neil Lomax, Jay Schrader, I'm sure they still have nightmares of that guy.
Joe Theismann.
He owned, God bless Joe Theismann. I mean, he ended his career.
Got his money in the Super Bowl championship. Man.
Good old Theismann.
I'm telling you, man. That is something. Talk about Monday Night Football for a bit. You know who the main guys are. It's Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. The second team was always Steve Levy with
Brian Greasy
and Louis Riddick.
Then they put Dan Orlovsky in when Greasy went over to San Francisco to be quarterback coach. The new guy is going to be Chris Fowler.
How about it?
With Dan Orlovsky and Louis Riddick.
Fowler.
I know Fowler means college football and tennis, but I think he's a good play-by-play
Fowler
guy.
has grown on me. It's really hard to take studio guys and make them play-by-play guys. For me growing up, Fowler was the host of College Game Day. And then to go in and replace Brent Musburger on that's an impossible ask. So, but he has done that, and he calls a beautiful game. He calls a beautiful game right
Usually
now.
with
Kirk Herbstreit, who is completely lost with Al Michaels.
Right.
That duo is completely, I like him individually, completely lost. And Al Michaels should not be doing games anymore.
I like Chris Fowler. I've always liked Chris Fowler. Chris Fowler he still does the Home Depot Awards, which are the college football awards.
Yeah.
So when I got the Blitnikoff, guess who gave it to me? It was Chris Fowler. Something about his voice, he does a great job. He's very patient. He picks his spots. He's a great analyst in college football. He represents college football to me, and I'm going to give him a shot because I like him. So
he's great at tennis as well. He's terrific at it. And then Reese Davis, I love Reese Davis, and he calls a good game. But there's some guys like Carl Ravitch, who I loved as the guy for Baseball Tonight, and I cannot listen to him, Eduardo Rodriguez, and David Cohn on Sunday Night Baseball. It is a major turnoff for a guy that loves to watch the Sunday night game.
Where's Johnny Miller and Joe Morgan?
John Miller is phenomenal. He still does the Giants games in San Francisco. Joe Morgan's passed away, obviously. But there's so many great announcers that ESPN has, and they just don't utilize them. I don't understand, but it is what it is. So that's your second team on Monday Night Football, and they're going to get a few games. Don't forget, there's going to be a couple of doubleheader Monday Night Football games as well.
Did you see the suspensions came
down?
I
did. Well, let's take a break. Come right back. The suspensions have come down for Fight Night in Cleveland.
And something's funny about it.
Oh, man. I know
funny.
Exactly what's funny about it, too.
Funny.
But first, a message from Mark White.
Real estate flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for no reason at all with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is
Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, now join us at Dispo, Hazel Park. Actually, you know what? Take that back. My apologies on this. Older read. Hey, look, Dispo, best dispensary in the state. 21 and up, recreation, only over 12 locations in the state. The coolest people, the best brands. It's the place you want to go get your cannabis from. Dispo, your local plug.
This Friday, you guys.
We will be there.
Oh, yeah, Hazel Park.
Hazel
Hazel
I wasn't
Park.
lying.
You
Hazel
know
Park.
what time it is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Get
hey,
ice cream.
Braylon, do you want to share the news with everybody about the suspensions in baseball?
God. Parker, throw up the suspensions if you will, if you have, if you got the tweet. If not, I'll tell you. Tim Anderson, who got his ass whooped.
From the White Sox.
From the
I
White
can show
Sox.
the video.
Very confident, too. Like,
Do we have the video?
Oh, we got the video?
I got the video and the audio by Tom Hamilton.
Here it comes. A swing and a smash to first by the diving Vaughn. Down the right field line. Kicks into the corner. Ramirez on his way to second. Head first slide. Safe and in to score is Jimenez. And another hustle double. Right over the bag at first. Now Hosey and Anderson square off. They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson. Ramirez went in with a head first.
That's the great Tom Hamilton in Cleveland radio. He is top 3 best in the business.
I thought it was Howard Cosell.
Well, I'm talking right now. Baseball.
No, I'm talking
about.
about.
Yeah, that was Joe Frazier, George Foreman.
That was hilarious. First of all,
it was awesome.
Tim Anderson got whooped. You saw that. He got slumped. Woke up, said he didn't get whooped, but then clearly was trying to walk out of the ring like he was Errol Spence. Not only did he lose the fight, he lost the suspension war too because he got 6 games. Ramirez, who dropped him, only got 3.
Here's the thing: when he
pays
tagged
to be the winner.
That's the point.
When he tagged Ramirez, he pushed down on him hard. So Ramirez turned around and said, "Hey, blah blah blah." And Anderson, "Do you want to go?" He's like, "Sure." Got up, right in the boxing stance, and away they went.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
And Tim Anderson is not liked in Major League Baseball. He is disliked. He is loudmouth.
Yeah.
And he was a great ball player. This year, having the worst year of his career.
I thought he was like an MVP candidate at one point.
He was amazing.
He's also not from the streets because he got his ass whooped. The funny thing about it, they better stop messing with these little short Dominican players. Remember when Lindor knocked out Batista? Batista, however you say his name. Hey, better stop playing with these dudes. Hey, don't go after Acuna next. I promise you don't want that smoke.
Well, Acuna got hit in the back yesterday, and he just dirty looked the pitcher on his way to first base. But that's the only way you're going to keep that guy from hitting a home run or a triple.
Hey, Maz,
best player not named Shohei.
Speaking of baseball, I've been looking forward to the Twins coming
I'm
to
going
town
tonight
for 4 games, and it just feels like it's a little too far now. I just spit all over myself. Slobbered all over myself.
Don't say that, no.
They're 9 games out, bro.
Myself.
We're 9 games out.
6 games, it's like one thing, but 9 games,
All right, you need a sweep.
Well,
knock
8
it down
games in
to
the
6.
lost count. So 8 games in the lost count.
All right,
so,
knock it down to 5 then if you could sweep the Twins. It starts tonight. 3-game set.
Oh, it's 4,
Minnesota.
no?
Yeah, you need.
Is it a 4?
I don't know. I got to check. I thought it was a 4-game set.
Yeah, you need Jesus on the mound and Moses at DH. Ain't happening.
I'll tell you who's coming to life a little is Miguel Cabrera, believe it or not. He is starting to hit the ball, and At least a little bit. I just felt, I watched the game on Friday night. It was a horrible game.
4 games.
4. Okay. Saturday I was at that game when they beat Tampa Bay 4-2. It was a great atmosphere. It was Fiesta Tigres day. You had the Miguel Cabrera Tigers jersey giveaway that day. That was a fun game. But you lost 2 out of 3 to one of the better teams in the league. You got to sweep the Twins.
Six of the next 9 against the Twins.
Got to take these 4. At least 3 out of 4.
Got to win 6 of the 6 in a row.
You said Miggy's hitting better, and this is just me outside looking in, and this is the first thing that comes to mind. Like, it's coming to an end, man.
Yep.
Like, Miggy realizes that.
Yep.
Like, it's coming to an end. Like, you know, he won't be able to take batting. He won't be able to enter the plate in a few months.
Hopefully they'll make him a hitting coach.
100%. Like, when it gets to the end and you start to realize, like, how do I want to go out? I don't want to go out 0 for 4 every game. Like, I want to make at least a decent impact at the end. I think that's what he's doing.
He almost hit home run number 2 on Friday night. Just missed it.
You know who is making a hell of a? This is what I would have hoped for the Tigers. The Chicago Cubs, man.
Oh, yeah.
The Cubs are 1 game out in the loss column. They've won 7 of the last 10. 1 game out in the loss column. They are exactly what I hoped the Tigers could have done a month ago. They're like sitting there 6-7 games out.
They're rolling.
You know, hovering around 500, a little 4 games under 500. And then, boom, you just got to get hot. You got to go on one hot streak in a bad division can do everything for you.
They also have better players than that, don't they?
Yeah. Then there's the poor Angels who have not won a game since not trading Shohei Ohtani at the trade deadline. They lost, got swept by Seattle. 3 of those games they lost in the 9th inning. The Angels are in big trouble.
I'm booking my World Series ticket for next season already because I guarantee you the LA Dodgers are going to be playing somebody because that's what Shohei's going.
Right. 7 games out of the wild card, 10.5 out in the American
Mets
League
haven't
West.
won a game since there either. They quit.
Since Nolan Ryan was pitching.
They literally have quit.
Yeah, they have. Pretty sad.
Still going to go see him on Friday night.
Guys, one topic we did not discuss today that I would like to see if we could get in tomorrow is this Cade Cunningham situation. Was part of the select team for Team USA, but did not make it, quote unquote, to the actual Team USA team. But that was his choice.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, he's killing it. He's killing it. But Ryan, you got to think about it like this: Cade Cunningham was #1 overall pick 2 years ago. And what happened this past year? He got hurt. Like, when you don't play a season like that sticks in your mind, and you don't want to go get hurt playing something else, because you know what's going to happen? The people in Detroit aren't going to care that you were going for the country and you were going for USA and you wanted to play with the best athletes to make yourself better. All they're going to see is you did some extracurricular activity, you got hurt, and now you can't play this year.
Totally applaud that choice.
Look at Paul George.
Yeah.
It's
Paul
respect.
George's career was ruined.
Yeah.
No,
on that tournament back in the day.
But he
well,
says,
not ruined, but not the same anymore.
He said something great, though, that I respected. He said he wanted to bring that bad boys era back. Like, he said he wanted to be part of bad boys basketball. And I made a comment on the Woodward Sports Post because they always do a great job. I was like, you can't say that lightly.
He's bulked up, too.
And this was it. If you're at home, you got eyes on it, you can see it. Like, I guess I should read it now and hyped it up. now I gotta go back and read it.
You on the spot.
It's a little bit too small for me.
I know. I gotta go to the.
We'll read it tomorrow when we talk about it.
Man, I'm getting out the way. I'll forget it tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
I'll forget it.
I got it right here. You have to be careful when you speak these words in the mitten. That's Michigan, more specifically Metro Detroit, because although these players aren't from here except one, obviously, Ivy has Detroit roots. We natives will still hold them to that standard. I remember 007. I remember the Phantom File. I remember when Oakland Raiders shared their colors and merch with us in 1990. I remember John Solly and Mahorn, Buddha James Edwards, no relation, Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, and the cleanest dressed coach in the league, including Pat Riley. I remember them making me proud to be from the D. I remember them starting our now international slogan with their action, Detroit versus everybody. If you guys go this route, there is no buddy-ish during the season. There is no easy opposition buckets. There is no individual no more. There's 13 cogs in the wheel operating for one goal. We believe in you and the squad. Bring us back to a championship city.
Amen to that.
That's real. Like, when you utter those words, us as growing up, I remember.
You ran into Cade at Christmas time.
I did. Couldn't be a nicer guy.
Yep.
Couldn't be a nicer guy.
It's awesome, man.
Couldn't
We
be a
wish him
nicer
the
guy.
best. And
We do.
Hopefully, this era of Pistons basketball can wind up like that one.
Did you see AD's deal, by the way?
Oh my God!
Holy crow!
$66 million.
They got to pay somebody.
This is true.
Wow.
This
Kids,
is true.
play basketball. Seriously,
This
I
is
mean,
true.
you got running backs making $1.5 million.
Or you better learn how to. Or you better learn how to pitch and hit.
It's a lot easier playing hoops.
Here, Bray.
Great first day. Tomorrow we'll talk more about the Detroit Lions, see what they're doing, because they do start with the New York Giants tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Great first day. Wrestling, SummerSlam, great weekend. Enjoy it. The sun's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Tigers and Minnesota, they start tonight.
See you there.
We'll see you there. For JB, Parker, Uncle Maz, my man Ryan from Ermanni,
yeah.
brother from another mother, we
You know what
are
time it
Woodward
is.
Sports Network. See you tomorrow.